men and women who have served and sacrificed so greatly on behalf of all Americans. Truly, one of my greatest joys over these past few years has been spending time with veterans and military families like all of you. I have laughed with your children at barbecues. I've gone to baby showers with spouses. I've learned so much during my many visits to military bases across this country. I've even smashed a champagne bottle to christen a Coast Guard cutter. And let me tell you, day after day, I have been so inspired by your stories. So inspired, and I'm reminded of one of those stories today. The story of a young man I met at Walter Reed. His name is Sergeant Winder Perez, and he is 24 years old. Now, a year and a half ago, Sergeant Perez was on a combat mission in Afghanistan when he was hit by an RPG. He collapsed, but the grenade stayed lodged in his left thigh, and it didn't go off. Sergeant Perez's fellow Marines ran to his aid, and together they chose to carry him off the battlefield to safety, even though they knew that any wrong move would mean certain disaster. Moments later, 4 pilots and medics chose to load him onto a helicopter with a live explosive still in his leg, transporting him 65 miles to the nearest medical station. And finally, when they arrived, a nurse, an explosive expert, chose to rush to his aid, finally dislodging the rocket by hand and giving doctors a chance to save his leg, which they did. Now, just that part of Sergeant Perez's story tells you everything you need to know about the men and women of our armed forces. But as all of you know very well, stories like these don't end in the combat zone. Since his injury, Sergeant Perez has endured 30 or 31 surgeries. He doesn't remember the exact number. He has survived a heart attack and an aneurysm, and he's fought through hundreds of hours of rigorous physical therapy to strengthen his leg. And time and again, just when he's regained the strength to walk, his doctors have told him that it's time for another surgery. And then Sergeant Perez is back in a wheelchair, starting all over again from square one. But here's the thing. You don't hear about any of that when you talk to Sergeant Perez. What you do hear about is his mother, who he will tell you has stayed by his side every single day. You will hear about his gratitude to those who saved his life, to the family and friends who come from New York to visit, and for the life he has in front of him. Today, Sergeant Perez is walking again. He's 3 months into an internship with the Defense Intelligence Agency, and he plans to spend the rest of his career serving his country. And when asked about everything he's been through, Sergeant Perez puts it all in perspective by simply saying, "I just think you gotta get back up." That's all he said, you gotta get back up. And as I look across this room, I see a group of people who know how to get back up. No matter what you've been through. No matter what the struggles you have faced, you all get back up. And that is what inspires me. That's why every day I work to push myself harder to live up to your example. And that's why Joe Biden and I are working so hard on joining forces, because we want to honor and serve you and your families, to make sure that you and your families have the educational opportunities you need, the support you've earned, and the good jobs you deserve. And if there's one thing that I want all of you to know today is this: you will never have to get back up all on your own. Not while we're here. You know, never. And it's not just us. You have got families who support you day and night. You have countless neighbors and pastors, business owners, I've met them, even strangers, who will snap into action for you. And one important person you have is a commander-in-chief who doesn't simply understand your service and sacrifice. Let me tell you something about this man. He carries your stories with him every single day. I have seen it in his eyes when he comes home from a visit to a military hospital. I've noticed the extra energy he gets after a military commencement. And I've heard the emotion in his voice after he talks with the families of our fallen. That is the well he draws from as Commander-in-Chief. You are that well. And that's why he has stood up for you again and again and again, and it's why he's going to keep fighting for you and your families every single day. So ladies and gentlemen,